Gage Bronies, it is the Verd back with you again, and oh boy, it's been a hot minute since I have recorded a YouTube video, so bear with me if I am so bad at this. What have I been doing, what's been going on? I will try and divulge everything and talk to you about this wonderful list you see in front of you too. I am the single strike sensei, of course, but let's start from the top. For those of you who maybe are new here, don't know who I am. Hi, I am a Verd. I am an Australian TCG player, and guess I haven't really had like too many ridiculous accomplishments. I got top 32 at a regional once, yay, and I was top 16 global at Players Cup 2. Other than that, not really much, to be fairly honest with you, but I'm a man of the people, and what I try and do is bring some fun TCG content your way, especially with this deck, which I am kind of backing myself into. I'm not going to be like those other channels where it's like, oh, let's feature this deck or that deck. This is pretty much one of the only decks you're going to see on my channel, and that's just because it's the only deck that I really enjoy playing right now. I have this in like max rarity, as you probably saw from my recent Twitter post, and so a lot of my TCG videos are going to focus around this deck, and kind of what I want to do, which I think is super cool, is log my changes to this list over time, and you know, the deck in general, and just see how it goes and whatnot. I think it'd just be really cool to do that. I think that this deck has so much potential. So over the time of its inception, which is like now, to in 2 years time when it will be rotated, I think it'll be a really cool journey to go on with the deck. So yeah, I mean, I think that's cool. So what have I been doing? Well, for those who don't know, you might not, as a living, I am a disability support worker. So I am quite busy during my days. I work basically all day, like a 9 till 5, doing disability support work, and then usually after that I am exercising. So like I'll work all day, I will get home, I will exercise, and then I usually just try and relax. After that, kind of relax, jump on Discord, maybe chat with some friends, maybe do a bit of laddering, and then I go to bed. And that's pretty much my usual routine, but I do want to try and get YouTube back into that routine, because I realize that when I'm relaxing and chatting with friends, I could be recording videos, I could be doing fun stuff with them. So like when I'm doing testing or other stuff, I could have the guys in there with me, because we have like some really good banter and everything else, so I wouldn't mind that. So that's why I've been kind of off of YouTube, is because I lost a lot of inspiration to want to build lots of different decks and try them. I was finding myself really just enjoying single strike, and so I wanted to run with that and see how it kept on going, and I've really enjoyed it so far, and my goal is just to kind of keep that happening. But also because like the diet and exercise stuff's going so well, for those of you also who don't know, from like the last time I uploaded a video, I was probably looking a bit chunkier. I'll kind of put maybe a bit of a before and after photo up here, so you can kind of get a bit of a point of reference. So I used to weigh like 107 kilos, and now I'm down to about like 90-ish now. Like I've been at lowers like 88 kilos. I am struggling a little bit with my diet. I need to get that back on track for sure. But yeah, my diet exercise has been awesome, and so that's another thing that I wouldn't mind doing for you guys, is kind of recording some of my, especially my exercise stuff, because it's good in two ways. One, if the exercises I'm doing are actually good, then it shows you guys some cool stuff that you can do at home. And two, if they're bad, then you guys can tell me and I can actually do the proper exercises. But it's been going pretty well. Like, I'm pretty happy with my progress, and I thought that'd be something cool to share with you guys. And like something I want to do in the future as well is when we have events come back, I'd love to be able to do workouts with fellow TCG and VGC players. Kind of similar to like Celtic Warrior workouts, which like Sheamus from WWE does, where he does exercises with like other WWE wrestlers. Doing that kind of style with like my TCG and VGC friends would be sick. So I don't know, I really like that as a concept as well for this channel. Another thing I actually wouldn't mind bringing in is that I am going to be DMing for a group for Dungeons and Dragons, and I'd love to do like a kind of weekly recap on my YouTube channel where I kind of talk about what the characters in my group did in certain situations, and it also gives like a really cool like log of the campaign that I'm running. It's really cool. It's like a homebrew that I've made all on my own, so I'd love to kind of cover that. I also have another D&D group I'm going into, which is one with my VGC friends as well. So like 2 different D&D campaigns, so I can kind of discuss both of them and how they're going. One where I am a player and one where I am the DM. So a bit of variety there for me, which I'm a super big fan of. In terms of other content that I want to upload, I found that people don't really enjoy like the gaming stuff that I used to do, and I don't really do much of it either. So usually it'll either be like me doing like deck profiles and then gameplay, like this would usually be, or it'll be like fitness stuff, or it'll be like D&D. I think those are probably the main things that'll be going on. Other than that, I would actually love, another thing I'm planning to do is setting up like a weekly locals. So like we have locals at our local Good Games, which is quite good. Oh my god, I'm saying the same words over and over again. It's a really good time there, but I wouldn't really record there. But if we had like just some home locals where everyone came over, I could set up my computer a lot easier there. Wouldn't have to lug it all the way into the city, and we could record some games, and I can get the people in the Discord to kind of watch the gameplay and stuff and commentate on it, which is pretty cool. So I think that'd be really nice. Just another cool thing. I think that's one thing we've missed maybe from Pokemon these days is like the proper live gameplay, live commentary. Everything's done on TCGO, so having like IRL cards, I think would be cool for you guys to watch. I'd love to try and set up stuff like vlogging pre-release, things like that, so seeing what people pull, like the excitement from that would be super dope. I don't know. I like having all these cool ideas, and I just never follow through them, so I'd like to follow through with this one now. And the main thing I want to kind of discuss in this video is this deck that is in front of you. I think I've covered everything else. If there's any other stuff you'd like to see come back to the channel, please let me know in the comments or hit me up on Twitter at _Verd29. I am always down for any ideas that people have. I am all about the self-improvement, so hit me up with your ideas. The main portion of this video, though, is probably going to be spent talking about this deck in front of you. This may be a deck that some of you have never seen before, and you know what? That's okay. What you see in front of you is Single Strike Urshifu. In the newer set Battle Styles, we got released a Single Strike Urshifu V and a Single Strike Urshifu V Max. And this deck is basically built around both of them. I'm going to go for a deep dive discussion on the deck. I'm probably going to save like another video for like meta matchups and everything else. I'm just going to break down why the certain cards are in the deck and what the basic function of the deck is, and the playstyle that I choose to go with, and then we can kind of go from there. So the deck revolves around, like I said, the Urshifu. So Urshifu V has Laser Focus, which is a really good going second attack. So it's for 1 fighting energy. You search your deck for 2 fighting energy cards and attach them to this Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So that search is just basic fighting energy that you can attach to this guy, and then it passes your turn. So on turn 2, you can set this guy up to have 3 energy, which means you can use Impact Blow on your next turn, which can do 180 damage, but it's like Braid Blade. Weak to Psychic is important. That means that Dragapult and Mewtwo are very good against this deck, so you're going to be careful against both of those. That's why Jirachi's in here, to kind of cover that a little bit. And the VMAX is pretty awesome. This is the main reason why I wanted to play this deck, by the way. The VMAX's second attack is nuts. The beatdown, not much to write home about. I mean, 100 flat is pretty good, and there's a special energy that increases damage, so you can hit some pretty juicy numbers. But also, after laser focusing, being able to evolve into this guy and avoid being killed by anything, and then just like gust killing a Dedenne or a Crobat is also really, really nice. But Gmax 1 Blow is the main reason we're going to talk about this card. So for 3 fighting, 1 colorless, you discard all energy from this Pokemon, and this attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So that means Decidueye does not stop this. It means that Zamazenta does not stop this. It means if your opponent has Full Metal Walled and has Metal Goggles on, neither of those affect this. If they have Stone Fighting energies, nope. All of those things are ignored by this attack, which is so cool. And you can ramp up a lot of damage on this, and it creates some really, really nice numbers against a lot of the meta, which I'm a big, big fan of. So you're thinking like, okay, Verd, this is a pretty cool guy. You can laser focus once, but that's a lot of energy to get onto a fighter type Pokemon. How are you accelerating this stuff? Well, we've got our boy Houndoom here. Houndoom's ability, Single Strike Roar, lets you search your deck for a Single Strike energy card and attach it to one of your Single Strike Pokemon, then shuffle your deck, and if you attach it to it this way, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. The Houndour just has a cool attack. Funnily enough, this Houndour is like one of the best techs for Mad Party. It's so funny, because you attach 1 Single Strike energy and do 40 and it kills everything. So single strike energy is basically strong energy for those like older players, I suppose. It's strong energy, but it can be attached to a fighting or a dark type. This is important because we have a Tyranitar V, which this deck doesn't use yet, but will become impactful when Chilling Reign comes out, I believe. But yeah, this makes it so that Pokemon do 20 more damage. So that means that with a single strike energy attached to, say, Urshifu VMAX, one blow would do 290, and you can scale the damage from this. So for instance, an opposing Urshifu VMAX has 330, so if you had 3 single strike energies plus any other energy on here, you would knock that thing straight out. So that's what appeals to me about this deck, is that everything else in the meta is basically two-shotting, whereas this deck is consistently aiming for that one-shot, 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 right? So then you're like, okay, Verd, I get it, right? This thing hits really hard, but then you lose all the energies, and how can I get him out of the deck? Well, they decided to give us a special charge as well. So this shuffles 2 single strike energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. So this allows you to replenish your attacks and use it over and over again, which is just super cool. Big fan. Support Pokemon in here, we got the Deadeye, we got the Bat, you guys know what they do. Like I said, you got the Jirachi in here for Psychic Zone, to not apply Psychic Weakness to Pokemon. Then we have a Mew in here, this is like twofold. Mew is really good for like Inteleon, Rapid Strike Urshifu, matchups like that, but also as an attacker, Mew is really nifty against Mad Party. It gives you 5 single prize attackers to use against them, which is really good because you can attach an energy to this and you can Psi Power a Sinistea that hasn't been set up yet, and you can completely take advantage of that and get an extra Pokemon in play. In terms of search cards, we have 4 Comms, 4 Quick Ball. Very, very straightforward search. It's all you really need at the end of the day. When Com rotates, I have to probably rejig exactly how I want this to go, because you could just run 4 Evolution Incense, but there is also a debate to putting in things like Great Ball, or also putting in like a split of Evo Incense and Level Ball, because Level Ball would search out Houndour, which is interesting. I haven't thought that far ahead though. I'm kind of just enjoying the deck as it is. We got 2 Switch in here. We got 3 Tower of Darkness. This is a really cool card. This is a stadium for the deck. It basically works like Scorched Earth, but you discard a single strike card, and if you do, you get to draw 2 cards. So really, really nifty. You can discard a lot of cards that maybe you don't need, like an extra Urshifu you don't need, or you can discard an energy because you know you have an Urn, and you can just draw into some more really important cards for your deck. We've got 3 Boss, 3 Money, 4 Research. You know what those cards do. Air Balloon is just a really good retreat card in here. We have the Single Strike Scroll of Scorn. This is a pretty busted tool card that can get attached that effectively gives your single strike Pokemon Outrage, which is really nice because, like, say in the ADP matchup, this is usually when the scroll is used. Because the Gmax 1 blow, so you go second against ADP, you Laser Focus, you have 3 energy attached there. They go for Alter Creation, you attach 1 single strike energy, evolve into a Urshifu VMAX, and then 1 blow to knock out the ADP while you have the scroll attached. On the next turn, your opponent brings up Zacian and swings into you for 260 damage, which you obviously live. And then on the next turn, with the scroll, you attach 1 fighting energy, and it does 10 for each damage counter, so that means that you're doing 270 back to them with Furious Anger, which one-shots Zacian, which is huge, right? So you can take 5 prizes without even losing a single prize. It's pretty massive. It's an incredibly powerful card. I really, really like that. And the other energy, like we have the 4 basic fighting, and then we've got Stone Fighting Energy, which is a contentious energy card for this list. Most people would run Capture Energy. What I don't like about Capture Energy is that it is a very bad card on any turn except the turn that you are going first. Any other situation, I think Capture Energy is a really, really bad card. What I like about Stone Fighting is that it's a good card if you're going first or second, but it's a super good card if you're going second. Because while it's attached, your fighting Pokemon take 20 less damage from attacks. Now, Zacian hits for 230, and Victini VMAX hits for 240. So with a Stone Fighting attached to... Victini does 220, Zacian does 230. With a Stone Fighting attached to your Urshifu V, Victini does 200 damage to you, and Zacian does 210, which is really cool. So you can attach this, Laser Focus, and then what you can even do with this Urshi is you can evolve it into the VMAX, attach the scroll, and then you can go in, or like Zacian has 220 HP, so you can just attach the scroll and go with Furious Anger to kill it, which is really cool. I like that a lot. So yeah, Stone Fighting is just a really good card because it allows you to tank the hits that usually you wouldn't be able to tank, which can be really clutch. You could theoretically run more basic fighting, but I just like this card, especially for going second. When I play this deck, I choose to go second. The other card I forgot to mention, probably my favorite card to come out of Battle Styles, like dead set, is this Cricketune. And people have been like very iffy on this Cricketune right now. And why I think this Cricketune is good is because going into this meta, like this is going to be the Dedenne replacement for every deck. And so I want to learn how to use it now so that when Dedenne rotates, I'm set, I'm good. Like, that's why I'm playing this deck now, because right now Single Strike is not a good deck. Well, it's okay. It's B tier. But when rotation hits and when Chilling Reign hits, Single Strike gets boosts in both of those areas, and I think it becomes even better. So I want to run with it for now. Cricketune is sick, so it has Exciting Stage, which is effectively while it's on the bench, it's like Instructor Rangaroo. You can draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. However, when Cricketune in the active spot, you can draw until you have 4 cards in your hand. So usually what I try and do is I try and bench Cricketune and attach an Air Balloon to it, so that anytime a Pokemon dies, I can just move Cricketune to the active, thin out my hand doing plays, and then if I have less than 4 cards in my hand, just Exciting Stage to just draw a free card whenever I want. It's really good. It makes you a lot more Stamp and Marnie proof as well, because if you get Marnie into a bad hand, but you can like play 1 card out, then Cricketune can let you draw into a potential out, which is really, really good. But yeah, when I play this deck, and this is a bit unconventional, I think, but I think it is the winning strategy with this list specifically, I always choose to go second. Reason being is because Laser Focus puts on a lot of pressure. It means that I can set up one Urshifu and then bench a second Urshifu to set up with Houndooms while this Urshifu is going out and killing something, which I really, really like. I think that attaching Stone going second is obviously insane. You can also set up your board a bit faster because you have access to supporters first, which I like. Yes, you miss out on early knocking out, like say a one of the Vs, like against Rapid Strike. It can be a little bit dicey, but against like so. One very key, like the big thing that I like about it is that when it comes to the Pokemon TCG, I have always been a reactive player. So when I played Eternatus, I would always choose to go second because I wanted to see what my opponent was playing so I could construct a perfect strategy against that and make it work. Same with Mewtwo. Most of the time, I would try and usually I'd go first because I can just set up a Mewtwo and be like, well, this is here now. But the way that I build my Mewtwo list was so that it could be reactive to everything in the meta that could be a problem, and then I'd have a way to deal with that. And that's kind of what this Urshi has. It's by going second, if you go up against Rapid Strike, you're like, okay, I can prioritize Mew. You go against Dragapult, you say, okay, I'm going to prioritize Jirachi. And if you see like a Zacian or a Victini, you're like, okay, I know that I'm probably going to need this Stone Fighting energy to give myself a chance in that matchup. And that's what I like, is that there's a reactive style to it, and you don't lose anything by going second, realistically, most of the time. So you just set up and you kind of go from there. I would say most of the matchups are good. Jirachi is a weird card, right? Most of the time it is the correct card, but there have been so many occasions where I sit there like, man, I wish this was Tyranitar. I think there's too much Mewtwo in the meta right now to justify running Tyranitar over Jirachi. But obviously post-rotation, the easiest changes to this list is that obviously like Jirachi, Dedenne, and Mew all rotate, so then you just chop in 2 Titars and 1 extra Crobat, and that's your entire Pokemon line for post-rotation, is just that. All you lose from your support lines is comms after that, so you just replace the 4 comms with 4 other search cards, effectively, and then you're sorted. That's literally what you have to do. It could be 4 Evo Incense, it could be a split of Evo Incense plus, what would you say, Evo Incense plus Level Ball. Just depends on the search that is required for you. Post-rotation, you probably run Capture over Stone Fighting and choose to go first more often because you don't have Com, which is a better search card. It's debatable. I think I'd still go second because you have access to Supporter. And Stone Fighting is just too good. Yeah, I'd probably still choose to go second in that format. But yeah, the list is really good. I want to get like into a showcase video for you guys. Probably won't be in this one. This is more just doing like a little life update, letting you know what's going to be coming up with the channel and all that good stuff. But yeah, I just want to give a little deck profile to the deck I'm using. Probably going to take it into Players Cup, and my plan for the Players Cup qualifier is to record all 50 of my games for you guys, and let you know how they all go, so you can see Single Strike in action that way. But thank you guys so much for watching. It's good to be back on the Verd. I'm out of here.